open the meeting there.
I'll make a motion that we open the meeting.
Second that?
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
7:45 still, so. All right. Roniak, 333,134. 333,134.
And what's the name of that company?
Roniak.
Rhinebeck.
Ronyak. Second one's Geauga Highway. Geauga Highway, $308,080.50. 308,080.50. And then Melway Paving, Melway. Melway, 681.95. 312,861 or 681. I'm sorry. 95. So to go over them again, we have three bids. Roniak, $333,134. Geauga Highway, $308,080.50. And Melway Paving, $312,681.95. So we need to accept these to get them to Dave to take to the county to make sure they meet all the requirements.
Make a motion that we accept the bids.
I'll second.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
I'll make a motion that we end this portion of our meeting.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Okay, we are adjourned at 7:48.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. What was the county's?
Well, I can bring out the ring with me. But they,
I thought it was in the paper forward, wasn't it?
it
The espresso, the little pot.
He runs to me, stay. Kids don't even say hi to me. That's right. Oh, yeah, Keenan's rushing over. He's asking me about the videos coming. He's keeping paying. Hi, Keenan. Because I have his own last week, so he edited.
Are we there yet?
Well,
1
we
minute.
got 1 minute.
1 minute, everybody.
Check.
No, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, okay. I'm gonna make a motion that we open this, meeting for a bid.
Library group.
Library. So,
Second,
I'll second the bid opening meeting.
all those in favor, Mike,
yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick.
Yes.
Motion passed, we're open at 8 o'clock. We only got one bid. And this is for the library construction project at the old daycare center that we own now. So, you had good timing. First bid is from R2K Contracting. It's the first and only bid, R2K. Charles, is it on document 3 or 4 that it's on?
I'm looking it up.
This one doesn't have a bid slip like the road ones do.
Should be on the first page of the stapled together, one, not the 2 pages,
This one?
the multiple pages.
Oh, here it is. It's the second set. All right. Okay, $154,037. 154,437.
357.
437.
So 154,437.
Correct.
Okay.
And that is our 2K contracting's bid, and that's the only one we have, so we need to accept that one.
Okay, we make a motion that we accept the bid and return it back to Charles.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna go to work.
When are you ready to start?
We able to evaluate this maybe before next meeting?
Yes.
We need to adjourn.
I'm gonna make a motion that we adjourn this, bid.
Second.
All in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Around at 8:02.
Now I'm gonna make a motion that we open the regular meeting.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
They're open at 8:03.
Okay, so we are, I think we're gonna do the allegiance, and then we're gonna switch over to, so Craig can get out the first training.
Okay.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's what.
Heavenly Father, we know that in just a few days we're going to be celebrating our nation's independence, and it's easy to find fault and be critical. There is no perfect nation, but Lord, we are so blessed for all the privileges and freedoms and rights that we have. So Lord, we just thank you for those, and just pray that we wouldn't abuse them, but take advantage of them, Lord, for what's best for this nation. We now ask for your blessing upon this time, this meeting, our leaders before us, Lord, help them to make the decisions they need to, and we ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amy, can you check?
Minutes.
Stuff.
You gotta stick around a little bit.
Sitting
Right?
there with this
So
box.
we'll get this stuff started.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You see the calls for service, we had this here in the past 2 weeks events, and the truck events. We had the second set of entry-level firefighters trained by the lieutenants. What I mean by that is we had 5 the first week and 4 last week. So those are all completed. The next step of the 9 candidates will be physical ability testing, and that's why we'll be trying to get out here today. That starts at 8 a.m. So that's it. I'm hoping to have the whole process complete by the second week in July. So I would bring names back to you guys for that.
You have 2. 2. Are there
Do
2?
I have 2? No.
Mine disappeared somewhere.
Hey, John, is it in that mid?
Well, here,
I'll see if there's, I might have scooped out. See if there's a agenda in there that I just put in the,
It's your turn.
no, it's all of this stuff. That's, thank you. No,
Wrong bid package.
put it in there. It was on my desk with all this, I just swooped it up. Thank you. Sorry about that. What's that? Yeah. I'm sorry, Craig.
Sorry, I don't know if you heard on that or not, but the reason I'm looking at meeting today is we have the 9 candidates will be doing physical agility testing at the station, and we also have extrication at the, extrication training at the road department this morning, all at the same time, so we got a lot going on this morning. I'm hoping to have this whole process completed by the second week in July and have names forwarded to you guys for approval by then.
What was the academy start date, do you remember?
September 5th.
Okay.
So the idea would be, if we choose, if and when we choose, we can get them in for a month of August, and then they send it off to the academy in September.
Thank you.
The station work, really, we've been working on the kitchen and the interior. You'll see a lot more workers there over the past couple of weeks. The holdup was the sprinkler system that had now been installed, and now the workers are really getting going with a projected date of September 12th. So, and that seems pretty solid on that end.
Have they started putting the doors up in the dorms?
Yes, you'll see that on the inside. So, like I said, there's a lot of workers there, but it's all interior now.
Great. On that, did you see the Mario and Bob thing going back and forth about the sprinkler getting it on the, did you see anything come back on that? Did you got it on the pay sheet at all?
No, I did not. Bob has to finish that.
I know they was at like 6 o'clock last night and he was getting on a train somewhere. And
Right.
I don't know if they ever got it done.
Well, then Jay Boone has to follow up with that. So I did have a conversation with Jay Boone, not to get too deep into that, but it has to go through the architect.
Right, I'm just knowing that Mario was really pushing it, so just in case you hear.
I know when Sue and I are out there, they're asking us questions, but it has to go through the architect, so.
Just keep that in mind if Mario says anything, because he was really pushing it. I don't think it went through last night, so it won't be on the next pay bid, which was gonna be an issue for him, but. What do we got? Yeah, all right, okay.
The only other thing I have today is, you see on, I think it's attached, we had a resignation of Caleb Stern. He was our newest firefighter who, came on and the day 2 informed me that he had accepted, or was in the running for Stowe. He got the offer from Stowe and he moved over to Stowe. So I think the board was wise on doing the entry-level firefighters, because now we're deep in that process with one of those also. So,
I would like to make that motion to accept the resignation.
I'll second that.
and other than that, if you don't have any questions.
You gotta vote on it.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Any questions from me?
Okay, thanks, Greg.
All right, and if am I okay to set out then?
Then you guys are down there, that you're turning up?
Yeah, Dave, flip those stars.
They're actually gonna flip them when you guys tell them what you need. There's
Yeah,
4 of
they're
them.
going
now.
down at 9 for that, and then I got physical starting at 8, so.
Where do you get the cars?
Marlboro Towing brought them in. I don't know where they came from.
So just back up for a second, and actually I didn't need to mention this, off the last BWC grant, we had new education tools, and part of getting the education tools, they come in and train us on those tools and give us the official certification, so that's what today is.
You want to improve? You want to improve?
Oh, yeah. Brimfield was one of the first ones that had battery powered education tools, and since then other people have got them, and then we were first generation, now we're up to fifth generation, so we got the newest ones, and that was awesome. Why I mentioned that is there is about $10,000 left on that grant. If any other departments could use that, I would refer them back to Nick to see what, but there is money left on that.
You couldn't find anything for it?
Well, I could use it, but I wanted to offer it. Actually, it's funny because there's a lot of cleaning supplies that I could use for the station, but I'm offering it to open.
It's nice of you.
So, yeah.
I want to make sure somebody uses it.
Well, yeah.
No, there's
Ones
3
that I'll
years
take.
to use it up.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna set up this.
Okay, so now, we're jumping all around this. So now we go to Mark today.
Thank you, sir. And I can wait if you guys want.
You got to see.
Oh, you know,
know.
my rear end's in all day, so it's fine. So you have before you a resolution similar to what you passed approximately 2 years ago for Maple Crest 2. This is for Pride 1 Town Center. It's a
Maybe.
Mike, do we have anything?
It's all digital.
Huh?
It was all set, email, I believe. I think Laura sent it on email.
Yeah, it was attached to Lauren's report last night. Or yesterday afternoon.
So this is,
I did print.
Okay.
so as I mentioned, this is similar to the Maple Crest 2 tip. It's up to 30-year, 100% tip. Fiscal had provided notice to the schools, I believe, on June 8th. I don't expect there should be any resistance from the schools since they're being made whole. You're not sucking any money out of the school, which is, I think, the big thing here. They're being 100% refunded from any taxes otherwise would have received if you didn't do this. That's the big thing, no impact on schools. The majority of the funds will be used, and Ben is here from Pride One, who can correct me if I'm wrong, but the majority of these funds are gonna be utilized for public infrastructure improvements for this project. Approximately 95% of the funds that aren't going to the schools. There's a 5% carve out for the township. So the township basically gets 5% of the funds collected from this TIF. Those will be collected by the county, distributed back to the township. Those funds can be used by the township for the purposes set forth in Exhibit B to that resolution. Exhibit B is generally drafted as broadly as is permitted by the revised code. There's still some restrictions on what you can and can't do with those funds, but those are all in Exhibit B. Again, similar to what the township previously approved for Maple Crest 2. The only caveat, although if you look at page 2 of the resolution, I think it's about a couple paragraphs down, 3 or 4 paragraphs down, you'll see there is a 45-day statutory notice period required. So if we run that from the June 8th notice date, I think that gives us July 24th would be the first date that the trustees could pass it, unless the school district has passed a resolution, which for Maple Crest 2, they passed that really quickly.
Right.
So I would expect, since I understand we don't have that today, I expect that to be forthcoming. We can check with the school to see when they think that's happening. Once you get that, you can pass the resolution. You don't have to wait for full 45 days.
Hey, Mike, did you talk to the superintendent or what is that?
I have a meeting with him next, actually on the 5th. So.
Yeah.
I don't know if they don't do as many board meetings in the summertime, so that's my only concern, because school session's out, so they don't always do the school board meetings, so we may end up waiting that 45 days. Unless they have something on there.
So are you able to check that and just let us know when they're within?
Yes.
Okay.
But we could do it without the school passing if we did the 45-day with no
Do it
response.
45 day. There's some language in the code that we may have to make some adjustments if they don't authorize it. But it would be much cleaner if they did actually pass a resolution, or at least give us some kind of confirmation that they're not objecting to this. Would be the cleanest way to do it. If you look at Exhibit A is the site plan, both the existing conditions and the proposed development. We received that from Pride One. It is a multi-family project, and again, you can correct me if I'm wrong. That really is a type of an exemption, because you can't TIF something that's purely residential. The revised code does allow for multi-family development to qualify for a TIF. So that's the only unique item really in this resolution compared to what you've done in the past for TIFs. That's about the 30,000 foot view. If there's any questions, happy to answer them if I can.
When you say the school will be made whole, they're made whole on not the current value of the property, will be on the future value of the property?
Yeah, so basically all the TIF is touching is the improved value. So you have whatever's on the county auditor assessment value today, say it's $1,000 for sake of ease, and the improved value is $2,000. The only thing that's gonna get tipped are the property taxes on that $1,000 improvement.
Okay. So that way they're made whole on the whole piece?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And then they're paid for right from the county for all their development stuff.
Yeah, so all the funds, if you pass the TIF resolution, all the TIF funds that are collected in lieu of taxes get sucked up to the county, go into a special account, and are distributed in that manner. Unless, you can work with them to set up something different, but traditionally that's how it works, and they pay it right out to the school, so.
Going to the contractor for the improvements.
Correct,
as
and
well.
the township, yeah. And so that, and we probably, once you do that, I'm already working on a revenue sharing agreement essentially, so we'll detail that out exactly how that's going to work.
So in reality, when will the money start getting into the accounts? I mean, what kind of?
So, and there's a provision in the resolution that speaks to that, but the improvements have to be completed first, and then the county has to come out and reassess the value. So really, it's when the county's reappraisal hits the tax duplicate, that's when it's the trigger to start collection. So it'll be a little while. Usually that's about 6 months or so after the improvements are complete. So it'll be a little time before there's a collection.
Okay.
The improvements on the roadways as far as paving, lighting, and sidewalks, I believe, Ben, you plan on doing that right away though?
Correct, yeah. That'd be one of our first things we do.
So the public infrastructure and the improvements that were discussed as part of the TIF, as far as getting that whole road next to Wendy's repaved, no cost to us. And then also the sidewalk going down from the soccer field all the way down to Pride One on the cul-de-sac, as well as the lighting will be done prior to them starting the homes.
When do you guys think you're gonna start breaking ground?
We would probably start spring 2024 is what it's looking like. I would anticipate all improvements to be done by 2025, and if there's a 6 month, I think you said 6 month lead time basically on the reappraisal and everything like that, so sometime in 2025, you'd realize the funds.
I mean, nice to see something going up there.
Yeah, we're excited about it, very excited.
I was just talking to somebody from Kent State, and I don't know what your demographics are that you're looking for, but it sounds like they are definitely short on housing.
Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, for,
Professors and stuff.
yeah, all sorts of things. I mean, I know, just in the campus itself, all the Kent State dorms and stuff are pretty much full.
Sure.
But I mean, I think you're looking for a different level, right?
Well, we kind of market to empty nesters, retirees, as well as young professionals. So people getting their masters and things like that.
I don't want to be stuck with a house payment when they're only gonna be around for a few years.
There's that, and there's altogether just a housing shortage in America right now. And options
I
are
don't have a
limited.
VW van.
There's always that option.
But we look forward.
Well, thank you.
So we just need a resolution passed it.
So as soon as you get the resolution from the school district, your next meeting, we can pass it. It's assuming they do it like they did last time.
We can pass this one at the next meeting.
So I would just hold it for now. Vote on it as soon as you get the resolution from the school district. And then it'll be good to go.
Thank you.
Yep, and I'm obviously available for any questions between now and Tuesday.
Yeah, I like your creativity.
Well, again, this is pretty similar to the Maple Crest 2 that we put together. One of the big differences, especially compared to Maple Crest 1, is the developer here is funding it, not asking for the township to, issue any bonds with the county or anything like that. So this is gonna be a little bit more streamlined, and township's not out a bunch of cash up front. So that's another benefit.
I just look at anything where we can improve the township and not have to go back to the taxpayers.
So I think, and Mark, while you're here, because I know there were some questions in regards to Maple Crest 1 and changing the revenue sharing agreement on that. Is that still a possibility?
Yeah, so that's something we're working on. It's a little bit more difficult. So Maple Crest 1, for whatever reason, I had mentioned Exhibit B to this resolution. We drafted that as broadly as the law permits. The Maple Crest 1 Exhibit B equivalent is more limited, and it really only authorizes the township to spend funds for X and Y, essentially. So we contacted the county prosecutor's office, who I think had some involvement in that Maple Crest 1, because that's who we have the revenue sharing agreement with on Maple Crest 1. And they seem open to amending it. There's some intricacies with the law that we have to jump through to amend it, but I think we can get it done hopefully. We'll probably have to involve the state to do so, but I'm hoping we can retroactively expand the purposes for that TIF resolution. So I'm still working on it, but keep you guys posted. Hopefully loosen that up a little bit for you guys.
Okay, well, thank you. You guys have any more questions?
I'm okay now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Have a good day.
Okay, now we're gonna go back into the regular meeting. Okay, do we have any announcements or correspondence? Minutes.
Those are the two we need. They're
We want
revised.
to make a motion, I read, sign the June 14th meeting.
Second,
I'll send it.
All in favor? Oh,
All in favor, Mike?
yes.
Sue?
yes,
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, June 22nd. We just need to revise, I'm gonna make a motion that
Accept it for discussion.
second, June 22nd, meeting for discussion. Wait a second.
I'll second.
Now we need to change the date, and Holly is gonna start. It's brought to our attention that she can start
A week early.
a week early. We put it at 7/10/23.
Would that be a new motion, John, instead of, because you're amending, this is a motion to accept the meeting minutes? I think you'd have to make it as a
Well, we
separate
can-
motion.
We can accept those and then we could make another motion to change that motion. All right, so let's.
Yeah, I think that's the better way to do it, because otherwise you're changing the meeting vote for something that actually happened.
Okay, so
So move to accept 6:22 minutes.
we have to do that motion, and
Nick second.
I second
it. Okay. All those in favor, Mike?
yes.
Sue?
yes,
Yes.
Motion passed.
Now I'd like to make a motion to rescind the prior motion, or not rescind.
You just need to make a new one and that'll,
To revise to reflect that you will be starting.
you just need to make a motion that she's gonna start on the 10th. And then that'll proceed.
I don't want to get rid of the whole motion, just, that's not. I'm gonna make a motion that we revise Holly's starting date 1 week earlier, 7/10/23.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just had one, John, just for clarification on that one. In the offer letter, because we're talking about amending that offer letter with that date, we had in there 5 weeks of vacation. We're not, I thought we were just going to what the HR manual said.
We were carrying it forward from the prior job. So.
Okay, so those are the years.
Yeah.
So that'll match the updated
Yep.
manual? Okay, I just want to make sure that it follows the manual.
It does.
Okay.
Yep. Change start date. 2/7/10. All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
No.
Motion passed.
Okay, now to the agenda. Do we have any additions or subtractions?
I did not get Lauren any updates for my, my agenda before her cutoff, so I do not need to talk about Office 365 security, so we can take that. I could remove the Office 365 security from my new business. It's the only thing I actually have to change.
Okay. Does anybody else? Everyone good?
I need to remove, under the fiscal office, 2A.
It's not going to be an ARPA thing then?
I don't know if there's gonna be an expenditure at all. Yeah, I might have to just put it back on at another day, but as of right now, I don't think they're gonna make us pay.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the amended agenda with the subtraction of 2A under information technology and fiscal officer 2A ERP expenditure. And second.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, I am gonna make a motion that we accept the purchase orders, now we receive them.
Second.
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Make a motion that I reviewed and we sign the warrants.
Second.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, now it's time for public comments and questions.
What, 5 minutes?
Huh?
5 minutes?
Anybody?
Well, I'm Bill Casper. We live at 4179 Hunter's Ridge Drive. And we're just here to try and get an update on the entrance sign. We've been trying to get it addressed for, I think, we're on 3 years now. We understand, I made a call over to the sign manufacturer that might be given me the information on. And they called me back last Wednesday or Thursday and said the sign had been completed and being picked up by the township that day, is what I understood. I don't know when it was picked up. They're just trying to get an update on the when it's going to be installed mainly. And after that, whose responsibility is it to maintain and I guess going forward and stuff.
But technically, it's our responsibility, right?
Yeah, it's,
And I mean, I know you made some mention of making it a little bit easier to maintain.
right.
So, yeah, I mean, that is our, technically our responsibility. I appreciate it, and you guys have done that, but, that is Brimfield responsibility. So, I know there are some issues getting trucks and stuff in there at one point or something.
Well, no, it's just, it'd be easier if I got rid of the thing altogether, but we're not going that avenue, so we're just gonna leave as is. The sign installation, I can't give you a date yet. I mean, I have the sign. So it's just one of them, I'm gonna have to work it in. Right now, I'm more worried about road projects and the sign entrance, because your sign's actually in pretty good shape there. Would like to take and remove all them bushes and plant different bushes into that area and get it to where it looks nicer than bushes being scrambled out there and stuff like that. But like I said, that'll be a project. I can't give you a starter. I don't want to give you a start date and an end date because we're in the midst of a few big projects right now ourselves. So,
Cindy Master, same address, with all due respect, we've been hearing that for about 3 years. So I don't know who prioritizes your projects, but we seem to be a problem with us. And as far as easier to maintain, we've been there for 27 years, and I know that y'all didn't know that it was your responsibility, that's my understanding, but you've known that for about 3 years now. And the sign actually is falling apart, it might be a sand, it's not any better. The wood is deteriorating. We just want to know what to hold. I mean, if you want to hire somebody else to do it, maybe that should be discussed.
We couldn't do that, we have union contracts. And right now, I mean, I know your sign is important, but we got all these road guys on vacations. I mean, we have to take care of roads. I mean, I know to you that is your main priority, but for us, to have maintained clean and safe roads, we have to do it.
I understand that, Mike, we're talking 3 years.
Yeah. Well,
3 years.
At what point does it become a priority for the township to
Well, that's a good question.
take it on? I mean, will we wait another 2 years because we have other projects that are being put ahead of it?
Once Dave has a sign, he has a sign. I mean,
right, we just acquired the sign the other day, so.
I think you gotta be fair and give them some time. Graphic detail, if you talk to them in depth, any of it, they are super behind on everything. We're lucky they got the sign done. I mean, I can't even get stuff for the restaurant. I finally started getting it, I've used them extensively before. So, yeah, I mean, we're not making excuses. I mean, if we had 5 more guys, we can get it done tomorrow, but we only have. We just, in fact, got another resignation, so I mean, Dave's doing the best he can.
Well, with all due respect, we didn't wait to have 5 guys to go down and take care of that sign for 27 years. We spend money out of our own pocket,
I mean,
flowers
I
and
mean,
bushes
they did a
and
great job.
mulching and paint and Bondo to be able to fix the sign up to keep it looking halfway decent. As a township, we're gonna invest money in our township. Let's take care of the things that we have. I mean, why keep spending more money you guys keep wanting more money to spend, which is fine, and you gotta keep the community going forward, but take care of what you have. This is the first time I've been to this place, and, walking in, I'd have to say I'm embarrassed by the facility. I don't know what you use this place for other than maybe meetings, I'm not sure what you use it for, but let's take care of what we have before we go.
What are you embarrassed about with
I'm
this
sorry?
building? What are you embarrassed about with this building?
Oh, the grasses and weeds and, I didn't go out and inspect the building, but, it's similar.
That's what I'm talking about.
If you're gonna own a facility, Hunter's Ridge or any of the developments, the first thing people see when they drive into Brimfield or into your development is your entrance. And if the thing looks, all weeded up and, everything looks old and, how interested would somebody be to live there? I could probably be
We
my
use
first.
this as a meeting place until our building is done over there. This is temporary. But I believe this is almost rented every weekend for events that it's a community event, so.
Yeah, I mean, we're not like cities, we don't have the added revenue they have. We're a township and we're doing the best we can. And I mean, when I'm looking to a town, I'm looking at the roads, I'm not looking at something's pretty sign. I mean, if I drive in and there's chuck holes, you're gonna say, hell no, I'm not coming here. Well, I think our roads look pretty darn good, and we have made some big stuff, so in all due respect, we have changed a lot. And so, I mean, where were you 20 years ago when you started taking care of the sign? Or when did you start taking
We're
it?
the only ones who've done it.
Why didn't you come to us back then? I mean, why didn't you come back to us and tell us you were spending all this money? We could have looked into it.
Because we have pride in where we live.
Well,
We
I
take care of our-
understand that, but we have pride in the township.
Okay, maybe.
And we have more than just your lot. I mean, I think close to 15,000 people. We're trying the best we can, and we will get to it, I promise.
Mike, if the sign wasn't on the verge of falling over from rotted wood, trust me, we would still be down there, putting out mulch, putting out flowers, cleaning the roadway over the island that I know you would prefer to get rid of. It's pretty easy to maintain right now, because you guys haven't done it to maintain them. All we wanna know is how much longer are you willing to put us off? How do we get to the top of, I understand staffing issues, But there is you own a business. There comes a point when
Well, I
you need to
understand
just
your
pull it up
frustration.
and take care of it. And 3 years is.
I'm around, Dave gets everything done, he's a good person.
I'm not
I don't-
saying Dave is.
And I mean, technically, I think once we're done with it, I think you probably, I hate to tell you this, need to stay out of it.
Well,
And
it
let the
will stay out
township
of it
take
as
it.
long as you get in it.
Right.
I mean, this is our,
You know,
this
I
is
mean,
our.
this is the whole thing about, you know, we're putting the blame on it, so if we're taking it over, I mean, technically, you really shouldn't be in there, because you're doing, taking union work away. From our union workers.
That's the way we're gonna handle it.
Well, I mean, that's how, if we do something wrong, I mean, that's the, they file grievances.
You
And
know,
then we have to
a
pay.
number of years ago, when my kids went to, with yours, to Brimfield Elementary, that parking lot was pathetic. Do you remember it? Potholes everywhere, you put your car in danger driving
Right.
through it. Okay, let me just tell you something about union and what people should and shouldn't do, or try to get credit for, or stay out of. Bill and I got gravel. This is, and we filled the parking lot holes on our own. Nobody asked us to do that. So going to this, we can't touch it, it's union. I don't think that's appropriate.
Well,
There are things that people do.
I mean, I hate to say it,
Well,
it
they
is
get
a
in there
problem.
and do it.
It's local
Okay,
20,
so
local 23, remember, if they file a grievance against us, we have to pay all workers, not just one.
Then
I mean, we're
probably
dealing
it would, it
With
would,
local 23, which is a hard union to deal with.
then
That's
like,
interesting.
probably the best thing to do would be to avoid that and get it done.
So I think what they're looking for here, and I don't think it's unreasonable, is to have an anticipated completion date of the project and what it's gonna look like. We now know the shrubs are coming out, we know a new sign's coming in. Are we gonna mulch it, or are we gonna put flowers in, and then are we anticipating this to be done end of August, end of September, end of December? I don't think that's an unfair request after 3 years of, do we have an anticipated either start or end date to the project?
Well, right now I have piping projects I have to get done for these paving projects that we're going through now, which that'll be, there's at least a month worth of piping jobs to do. And like I said, these paving projects, I'm moving forward with them. Them are very important to the township, not, if we get where we get a hiccup, a lot of times I sneak in and do these jobs like this. Right now I've been tied up with other projects for the cemetery, parks, that kind of stuff too. So, like I said, the problem is, I hate to say we'll be there by the end of August, because September 1st will come around, I'll start getting phone calls again. That's,
So what do you have to do to like to say that?
well, we need to pull the old sign out. I'm taking all the bushes out. I'm gonna look into that we may even just, landscape paper it, fill it with gravel. That way the bushes have a nice place. You don't have weeds worrying about growing up for low maintenance for us to take care of it. Get your sign up. I want to concrete your sign post in for the sign does not move and stuff, because that sign should last forever. And that kind of stuff. It's not just where I'm going to pop in, drill a couple holes, drop a sign and leave. It's going to be a few days project. So it's not just,
I don't have a problem with it,
Right.
get it done. I respect Nick's direct question to you.
September
Yeah,
1st.
I'm sorry,
There, we'll say September 1st.
just started.
That's, just to give you an idea of what, like I said, I'm tied up quite a bit this summer right at the moment. But we did have the sign set to go in when we get a chance. So September 1st, hopefully I'll have it completed by then.
How's the sign look?
Hmm?
How's the sign look?
That looks pretty good. And it actually looks really nice. They did a real good job on it.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you taking care of it, but hopefully it'll look good.
I'm sure it'll look good. I'm sure it'll look nice.
They do good work.
I don't know how this all handles, but I have a different subject. Is it possible to? I was just curious, wondering, hoping if there was a way, I know I've read about it on the Facebook pages, of having these meetings alternating times, not just at 8:00 in the morning.
I saw your comments out there. I can address that just if I can. We've done that probably 4 or 5 different times, going at night, going in the morning, going in the afternoon, doing all that. We probably have gotten half as many as that we get here at the nights, and they're just the same people that come in the morning. There are a lot of people that state that they want to have a night meeting, but they never show when we do have them. It causes issues for us in regards to personnel and everybody else, and we have, I mean, I know 3 of us here have full-time jobs that we go to.
So the people that can't come to the 8 o'clock meeting,
I know, but they don't show at the 7 o'clock meetings either when we have them, so.
is there enough, lead time to tell them, okay?
The schedule, probably done this 2 different years now, and we put our annual meeting list out. We did one probably 10 years ago, then we did one 4 or 5 years ago, that we did them at varying times, but it was listed at the beginning of the year. And
So it's throughout the year?
it was throughout the year. A couple of those times, we had multiple days that were evening meetings.
No, I mean, it's scheduled throughout the year, so that.
At the beginning of the year.
They know when it is.
Yeah, but we didn't have, the only people that showed were the people that showed in the morning, half of them. So we didn't get anybody new, even though they complain on Facebook a lot that they're not open. None of those people show up at all. I've even asked them, I'm telling them, they couldn't make it. Okay, so,
Well, you are some complainers who don't have a plan
Sure.
to change anything anyhow, but I was just thinking about, when the kids were in school or band concerts, choir concerts.
Sure.
Yeah, it's at night because people work.
Mhm.
And I don't know, it seems like to make everybody, help the whole community, involve everybody, it's best to have times where people, sure, there's gonna be a time where I want to come and I can't, but I don't know.
well, what we've done to kind of resolve that is we have all the videos are on YouTube, so you can watch the meeting anytime you want, so you
But
can
there's
see what's happening.
participation with that.
Well, but you can always send ahead, and it even says out there, even on our minutes here, that we were agenda items somewhere, said somewhere, that you can send questions ahead of time to the board, and we'll make sure that we address them if you can't make it. So there are the abilities to do that.
Unfortunately, if I sent a question in about the sign, I don't think they would get that.
Well, if I went out on Facebook and told all those people, that they're asking to be there, if I made a list and say, guarantee you're gonna be there, no one's gonna show.
Oh, no, I won't.
Right.
That's not.
So then
We
we
have
have.
5 minutes. We got 5 minutes on an issue, I think time's up.
Okay, is there any other? Check.
We're talking about Long Bridge, because I know Dave isn't really busy. But when you have free time, we got a sign down at Chapman Farms you gotta take care of.
Joanne says.
Yes, I think you should take a look at it. Okay?
Why Joanne said no?
For this
No,
reason.
no, I'm talking about if that's a road, if that's a Brimfield responsibility. I think.
Well, the question comes, does the HOA own that piece of property or not? They don't have an HOA, so does your HOA control that, or is that township property?
They can't control something that's township property.
What's what I'm saying, does your HOA own any property where that sign's sitting? Because that's where we ran into this, is when we looked at it, they didn't have an HOA, it fell on our
The
roadway.
HOA does not own that property, but anyway, forget it, I'm just teasing. You get a chance to look at it, but anyway. Like, I don't know how many people are there, do they know where the tip money comes from? Can you tell them?
Is that where it comes from?
Taxes.
Comes from Portage Counties.
Huh?
Comes from Portage County.
Where do they get it?
What do you mean where they get it? It's
Where
the
is it? Well, how do they-
increased tax,
Oh,
the increased tax on the developed property, that's where it's coming from.
that's what I don't know, whether everybody knew that, it's not gonna be an increase to us.
Right.
Correct.
That's what I want to understand. That's all.
Let's check.
If you're getting free time, come down and see us.
Check what the waves out while you're done.
Is it rotting away?
Pardon me?
Is it rotting away?
No, they're fine. Our signs are fine.
I'd like to shout out to our police department, real quick. Hunter's Ridge, had been a speeding zone for many people going in and out. And, I don't know who was in charge of getting one of the speed monitors put in there a week or so ago. But that has really slowed people down just from visual, watching people coming in and out. It seems I'm speeding, but now they'll see the sign kind of flash down and they slow them down. There's still a couple of families that ignore, but thank you for whoever took care of that. It really, as long as it's there, it really has helped. And with that, as a suggestion, I know that they make speed signs that are permanent, that, it replaces your 25-mile-an-hour speed zone and has the same kind of lighting on it, it's all solar and all that kind of stuff. Don't know if there's any money, any budgets to anything about installing those permanently in development like that, and try and save, save a life, save an injury, save anything. That's just a suggestion. But thank you.
I know,
That.
you look at those light-up signs, they're pretty expensive.
Yeah, they weren't, at that time, they were pretty expensive.
Yeah, I brought it up last year, but there was a price and then there was a potential theft issue too.
Well, we'd have to do it in every allotment that we have. We just couldn't pick one allotment up and put them in.
Right, but there were specific areas where we knew we had some speeding, so we were looking at them, but they were expensive. Then there was the potential theft of them too, becomes that issue. Because, I'm sure somebody would love that for their backyard.
We're not having sidewalks, I know some of the developments, they have sidewalks, but, we don't, and that's fine. So when you walk, you're walking basically on the street, and these people, every year or so, we were out in the evening, even though it's lit, and a driver come through pretty fast, and we actually felt the wind from his mirror, that's how close it was. Slow down, there's kids in here, there's animals in here, whatever, so.
Control is very good, by the way.
Okay, well, thank you. Okay, well, now that leads into, safety concerns.
I do.
You guys ever thought about putting sidewalks in? I don't know how that would ever
Who
go.
would make ends?
No.
You have to get them in first. Let you pay for it.
Okay, well, let's get into the, okay.
Thanks, Mike. I only have a couple of informational items for you this morning. Planning a community engagement event at Frank's Drive-In. Trying to set a date with the owner over there to do a Cones with the Cop community event over there. So once I hear back from Joe and we can maybe lock the date and time, we'll post information on that for people can stop up and get ice cream cones. It'll be our treat, spend some time meeting and engaging with some of our officers. So if Joe is okay with that, we will try to get that posted and plan that event. Secondly, we're in the planning stages of doing a sergeant's promotional. This fall, I don't have timelines for that yet. I'm just kind of targeting the fall timeline. It's going to be largely contingent upon the availability of our test providers, but that is in the planning stages for the police department in the fall. I just kind of want to put that on your radar. One other informational item I did not put on my report is Officer Steve Yoker's last day of work for Brimfield Township is this Friday. I know his retirement party is coming up on the 13th, but he is working day shift today and tomorrow, and then Friday will be his last day after 30 plus years of service to Brimfield. So if you get a chance to maybe pop your head in during the day and say, hey, that would be much appreciated. But those are the only informational items I have for you. I do have a very brief executive session I'll need as well.
What's his last day?
His last day at work is going to be this Friday. He works at 783 P this Friday.
Well, he's been there a long time.
Very long time, almost from the beginning, very close.
Where do you, I know they worked real well last year, and I know you're doing the Cones with the Cops. Are you gonna do any of those neighborhood hot dog things again?
I'm not sure because we've got safety school coming up, which is a big one for us. And then that kind of leads us into Brimfest. And we're also doing the back to school bash at Brimfield Elementary. We were there last year. So I do have kind of stuff in the pipe right now. I don't know that we'll be going down that road or not.
Thanks.
Are you doing the helmet tickets again this year or not?
They are not. AAA, we reached out to them. AAA is not running that program anymore. That was a AAA program that they kind of partnered with on, and they're not running it this year. Thanks.
Okay, admin.
Under admin, just a real quick question for the board, or I guess maybe to John too. Now that we have the bid for the library, who do I need to coordinate with to get a dumpster in there? If I can get some volunteers in to help empty out. I talked to Shirley, Cassie talked to Shirley and said to me that she knows what she wants. So I'd like to try to figure it out if we're gonna be accepting the bid in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, Cassie can order, tell her what size you want.
Okay.
Order from Kimball, get it over there.
Yeah, I was just waiting to pull people together until we saw if we got any bids. I have a few people that are interested and then we're gonna try to spur it out.
So just throw everything away or do they use some of it?
They may take some stuff, but I think a lot of it's just gonna go to the dumpster. We'll just, we'll offer if they wanna take it.
I
But I
think we
would-
leave it for 7 days, I think is what they do, so make sure you coordinate the time, so we don't have it off and it's there for a week and then they take it away before we get in.
Yeah. And then Cassidy, do we still have the volunteerism forms we used to use? Cause I think Just from a
Yes, we
liability, it's
do.
probably best if we just have them all sign off.
Yep.
Whoever comes in.
Yeah, I'll make a note.
Okay.
So you got all your stuff put aside now?
Yep.
So you guys are gonna coordinate then, are you gonna put something on Facebook about it, if there's anybody out there, or what do you?
Do we want to open it up to that many people, or do we want to keep it to?
No. It's garbage, honestly, I mean, there's. it's
Well,
been
I'm just
cherry
saying, I
picked
just,
multiple
yeah, I don't
times.
want too many volunteers in there, because there's always that potential for injury too.
Yeah, it's also pretty musty in there. I have asthma, and every time I go in there, it's triggering for me. So
I opened some windows.
I'm sure it's just gonna be pretty much a fill the dumpster up, because again, it's been cherry picked multiple times, and then there's nothing.
Well, that's all I need, I just want to get it cleared out so construction can start right away, so we can get back on.
Beware of the refrigerator, it's got 6-year-old food in it.
Yeah, yes, it
Sure.
did have that.
I'm sure that you get clean and someone could use the refrigerator. Okay, that's good. Yeah, thanks for getting that. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, zoning.
So, thanks, Mike. So Lauren, I think everybody's aware, has resigned from her position as Economic Development and Zoning Secretary. I truly will miss Lauren. She's been wonderful to work with. And we wish her well in her new job. She is leaving. Her last day is the 14th. In that, I've spoken with Jendi Miller, and we've been blessed because she's willing to come back. And you know, Jenny's already trained. She knows the position. She knows multiple positions where if somebody's off sick or something, she could cover for those positions. With that, I'd like to request board approval for Jenny Miller to replace Lauren as Economic Development and Zoning Secretary.
I'd like to make that motion for discussion.
I'll second it.
Do we need a motion on the floor first to accept the resignation? Because we have not.
We have to accept your resignation, we do. So let's just do that one first.
Make a motion and we accept Lauren's resignation from her position.
Second,
All those in favor, Mike, Sue,
yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
Now I'd make the motion to hire Jenny Miller to replace Lauren.
Second that.
For discussion.
Yes.
Is Jenny sitting on one of the boards still?
She is. She has to resign from
So
the
she'll have to
board.
resign from the board, so that's gonna create.
So, yeah, once this becomes official, then she would resign from the board, and then I'd advertise for that position.
How did you talk her into it? Well, she did a
It's
wonderful-
my love for the township.
You did a wonderful, she did a wonderful job.
John, is this gonna, do we still have the pay scales that we created? Is that how that's gonna operate? And are we gonna look at prior years of service, or are they coming in at baseline? Because we just don't have the official job letter, so I think that's the.
And that's kind of in the middle of all that, because I don't have the person that's writing the initial job letter, so. There was a scale number, I don't know if you talked money or not, or you brought anything up, but I think there was a number that was out there that was gonna fit within the schedule, the
Remember, we had developed a schedule where it said year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, and then after that, it was just cost of living raises. I just didn't know if that schedule still exists, and if we're still, if that was how we were operating with inside of that.
Yes and no, but kind of things have changed in the last 2 years with those increases. We need to revise that to make sure that we're in the competitive marketplace again. Like we had to do with the fire, we had to do with admin people internally. There was a number that was looked at. Holly had looked at it with Mike, so.
We just, usually we get an offer letter that we can review and have a discussion. Right now, we're just hiring with no
I didn't
pay or
hire
benefits or
at this
anything.
point. I didn't know that, but and the person that would have written that today is actually on vacation this week, so then she'll be here on the 10th. So.
I just,
I think with everything going on, I mean, we need to get Jandy in there to train a little bit with Lauren, because things have changed.
but I don't feel comfortable doing a hire without knowing what we're gonna pay and having all, you know, that whole pay letter we needed.
I mean, we verbally agreed to a pay, and you gave me that
It was
raise.
1850 is what the number was. Well, that was, it's in the scale, I don't know exactly what you were looking at, but that was the going number that we thought we would have to pay.
because years of service, all that considered, remember, because that affects now vacation time, all those little pieces. So I just want to make sure if we're going to do, that we're doing it the right way. Usually we get that whole offer letter out once.
I would just suggest we hire what we know, and then we'll get the letter, and then we can.
After the 10th, those will be normal processes that go out with Halloween here. So we're just kind of in a whirlwind thing over there with everybody and people leaving and got all kinds of situations.
So when she gets back, then we'll get her a formal letter.
On the 10th, she'll be here. But the way these things are gonna be though, the only thing that's even gonna be negotiable in there on any part, for any employee that's here, are gonna be vacation time and pay. Nothing else is gonna be
Well,
negotiable.
vacation thing is not negotiable.
Well, if we were, kind of would be though, if we were recruiting a big time fire chief and, or whatever it may be, and they needed, 4 weeks to come here and they would have been 3 on there and we're trying to recruit them, that would be something that we would offer. That kind of falls into the compensation part with setting their wage. I mean, if we're trying to recruit somebody, we kind of have to be competitive. What we ran into with the fire department, we had to change all those numbers, is that we were not competitive in the marketplace at all. And we were getting pilfered for, that's why we're losing a couple of these people. Before we made any of those changes, we had 5 people that were out there ready, or testing and doing all that kind of stuff. So, but those are gonna be the only 2 things that are even available to talk about. So if we did have somebody that we decided to get them to come here and they weren't gonna come, if we give them another week's vacation, that's our opportunity. We have the ability to do that. Just like we could determine that we're gonna pay them $1,000 more a year to get them to come here. Talking a non-union employee.
Right.
So that was the verbal number that was out there was $1,850, but I didn't get anything from Holly yet. I didn't. And she's gone out of town right now, so. She is Congo or wherever, Mexico. So
Yeah, personally, there wasn't enough information. I mean, usually we get the job.
I don't know if we were hired.
This is the first I heard about when I walked in today, so.
Okay. Well, there's a motion on the floor.
I'd like to make that motion.
You already had it.
Already on
Mike
the
had
motion?
it, seconded.
Okay,
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
yes.
Nick?
Abstain because there was not enough information.
Motion passed.
So Mike will get all this other tidied up and how it gets back.
Yeah, that's fine. It's crucial to get her back in here. We were at one of our busiest times. Jenny is fully aware of that. As though, some of the numbers aren't showing it as far as permits, but on the other end of the zoning spectrum, we're busier than our zoning commission is at its highest level right now, making changes with zoning. We have development proposed everywhere throughout the township. Most of it is confidential, which I know that Jenny is very good at. She's been here before. She knows the confidentiality that goes with that. You'll see a lot of those developments start this year.
Has a lot changed since Jenny was here?
Yes, there's a lot. So I need this shadow time with Jendi and Lauren, just so she's familiar. Everything is on the computer now. The hard files are pretty much gone. We do keep hard files for, record retention because state of Ohio requires we have, permits for 3 years, things like that on paper. Everything else is on the computer, whether it's in Dropbox or iWorkQ, so.
Yeah, I'm just worried, just so she has that ample time to start running it.
She had a background check just recently done. The question I have is, does she have to redo that again? She just did it for the position, was this last month? I think you did it.
I think it was in April.
Okay, so I don't know if you need to redo that or, yeah.
Just make sure as soon as Holly gets back, you guys can have that.
It's ironic because Jenny sat in my interview process as well as Nick and Craig. And I wanted to ask that because I went through the background and then I had to explain a lot of things in my background, Google searches. So I just want to make sure that she's good to
Well,
go.
my main concern is trying to get the motion passed that Jenny can start, is that Lauren is going to leave on the 14th. And we don't bring her on board and we want to bring her on board, but I don't want to lose all that time with Lauren, working with her to show her the things that have changed for us to bring. So that was my main reason.
Well, thanks.
Modernize that department.
What's the official start date? Because that wasn't part of the motion. So we starting today, John? We starting next week? What are we doing here?
I don't know.
I'd like it as soon as possible, and the reason being is Lauren's gonna be taking some time off. Some of the time she won't get paid out for it. I think she gets paid for vacation. She does not get paid for personal. So I'm sure she's gonna be using up some of her personal time.
Well, if you wanted to start on Monday, that would be in the middle of the pay cycle, which would work. And the next Monday after that would be the beginning of the pay cycle. So
I think that's something we just
But-
work out.
we're not here we are here on the 3rd. We're on the 4th.
But then,
I don't
yeah,
think there'll be a lot of people here on the third. And it's technically probably a 4-day work week.
everybody's off on the 4th.
I would anticipate her starting on the 5th then.
That's the middle of
Yeah, I'd rather start on the 3rd.
That's fine.
There's nobody here. Well, I mean, she can start here, it just doesn't.
I mean, anytime is better, because I know that
It just makes a nightmare for me. in the
She
middle
could
of the
start
pay
work
cycle.
immediately. I could leave Jendi. She knows how to answer, she knows how to do the job. That's why we went with Jendi. She knows what to do immediately. But there's just some of the records that I want her to go over, and we have to get her up to speed on some of the projects. One of them I'm allowed, Sheets is coming in on the corner of Sanctuary and 43. That was one of them. We held that confidential. That's coming into the BZA now. It's official that they actually submitted. We have other developments down on State Route 43. They have multiple things.
Well, whatever they-
I'm just saying, she's got to get up to speed.
It just
on
makes it
some-
difficult if I bring them in the middle of a pay cycle from there. It's a fiscal office nightmare. If I do it at the beginning of a pay cycle or at the end of 1 week,
Right.
instead of prorating dates and vacation and cruel times it just screws everything up.
No, and I think she's flexible on her date. I think you can start.
Yeah, I know.
Let's officially hire her the 3rd, and then perfect. She comes in on the 5th.
Are we gonna make that one a motion?
Yeah, typically how the motions happen.
Do you want a second motion?
But we already have one out there. If you want to change the one we already have, we can, or we just have a second one on our start date.
Second one. So I'm gonna make the motion that, your official start date will be the 3rd of July.
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick?
Was this amended or the same?
This is a different motion.
Okay. Yes.
Motion passed.
I just wanted to add one thing to this, since I brought up Sheets. And I know the police are happy about this. They will be putting a light in on the corner of Sanctuary and 43.
Oh, that's where our next fatality will be.
Yeah, and they already went through ODOT with the curb cut and the lighting process prior to.
So when do you see them starting?
I would imagine once they get approval from the BZA, which it's a conditional use, it's not a use not covered. Before they came in, it was a use not covered in the town center. Everybody had a problem with bringing that use into the town center. Since then, the trustees asked me to eliminate that. It has been eliminated, so, but it's an actual use in the highway commercial district, so. And then it's gonna spark development. We changed the zoning, Bill's a big part of that as well, and Jenny, changing it down State Route 43. There's no longer general commercial in there as well as you guys passed it. It is integrated commercial. We're gonna see some development start. I think that was the big process and the goal. We meet with Ken Jett, and we strategize to try to spark development. This is one of the ways to do it. And incentivize the developers like we're doing with TIPS. And I think we're gonna see that grow pretty well.
Well, that's a perfect spot for shoots.
Yes, yeah, and the whole goal is sparking it and then bringing utilities. The next development, we're looking at bringing a whole pump station. The whole pump station has to be upgraded throughout State Route 43, otherwise development can't happen. With the next development, I'm gonna tip it and try to get a pump station. So thank you. And then Pride One Apartment Homes, Town Square Drive, we met this morning with the TIF. We were hoping that the school could have that back to us, but at least everybody was here to explain the TIF and how that works and what we're getting out of it. And the 5% back is something unique that we started years ago with Maple Crest, and we continue to do that with each and every TIF.
And can you just, so we don't miss anything, just make sure that you, the superintendent, you figure out if they're getting it into us or whatever, just.
Yeah, I meet with him on July the 5th. We meet usually monthly.
That's what I do.
Just, I want to make sure that we, and he's very appreciative. I don't want to speak for Dave, but I know he's very excited. The schools are whole. They're doing very well.
Can you find out when?
With all the new
meeting is,
development,
if
this
they're
helps
missing
them.
Summer meetings?
They've canceled their July 10th meeting. Their next meeting is until August 14th.
So they're not gonna get anything in unless they have a special meeting before the. end
I'll
of
talk to
45
him
days.
about that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they've officially canceled it on their website.
Okay. Thanks, Mike.
That's it, thanks.
That's all you got? Okay, okay, thank you, Mike.
Oh, one more thing. Nick asked for Kayla's stuff. You should have received Kayla's explanation of what she was working on. As you know, at that meeting, I didn't want to discuss it. Lauren had some, kind of knew verbally that this might happen, and we were utilizing Kayla as much as possible because Lauren has stepped into the, I know Jen stopped up, but Lauren has stepped into the role of doing the trustee meetings as well as a lot of more administrative duties. And when she gets pulled in other directions, then I needed somebody to back her up and continue to do the zoning. So you'll see that.
Yep, I received it. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Road department.
Yeah, some of the old business, the county's finished getting their data for the Sanctuary View, Ridge View, looking to see about the three-way stop sign down there. They just did their traffic counters and stuff, so we'll have, hopefully I'll have information by the next trustee meeting for what's gonna happen there. Plus, of course, some of the old business, we did get the Hunter Ridge sign in. Just want to let you know that since we had the last meeting. Some new business, we've been road mowing, boom mowing. The tree removals has started at the cemetery. Plus I pulled him off to do some stuff on Saks Road where we had some trees that were really bad shape. Touch a truck went really well. We passed out over 200 little construction hats that we bought the kids. So it went pretty good. Kids had fun playing in them trucks. So I'm finishing up some stuff for the Klein Road culvert paving project. Klein Road not paving project, but the culvert project. We have to do some test holes and stuff like that for that project. So I should have this hopefully at the next trustee meeting to put it out to bid. It's just a FYI, Cody Comple has informed me that he'll be leaving here soon, the road department. So I don't have an official date when he'll be done. So I'll come probably the next meeting. I'll have more information on that. It just was brought to my attention yesterday. So yes. So I just have a question for the board. The flags that are on the poles on the roadways, do you want to take them down after the 4th of July or do you want to leave them up? The thing is with our flags out on the main highways, the truck traffic we have in the township, they destroy them flags. So I don't know if you want to take them down, then put them back up near Brimfest, or you just want to leave them up and let them go. We replaced every one of them last year. We had to redo all the flags for the post. So it's just up to what the board thinks on that.
What do you think?
I think we should remove them because they do get tarnished up really bad with the semi-traffic and stuff all down through the center of town and stuff. They get ripped up a lot. I mean, last year for Brimfest, I think when we took them down, we put them back up, we could only put half back up because half of them were messed up from the truck traffic. We've replaced them every year. So, I mean.
I think you gotta do what you think is right.
Well, what I think is right might not be what, say, the town people want. So.
At least we have it up through the 4th.
Right.
My only fear is put your employees out in that traffic to take them up and put them down. You know what I mean? Like put them up for Memorial Day, take them out down after the fourth, put them back up for Brimfest. Like we're doubling the exposure to traffic.
Right.
What's the ballpark figure of how much it costs to replace all the flags?
I'm not
Those
positive
flags are
because,
like $75 a piece.
right, there's 50 of them that we put up. That's hard. I couldn't give you a number right off the top of my head, Sue, because we normally buy, most places only have like 20 in stock. We order 50, this and that, so. I mean, the exposure for the guy, like you said, in and out both times. I mean, we do put a, I hate to say it, a wreck truck behind it. You know, we're protecting ourselves. We're not going out there just,
Well,
Right, night.
I'm looking at deterioration versus cost.
because the biggest thing I worry about is by the time we get to Brimfest,
What are they?
they might be trashed by the time we get to Brimfest. So,
You definitely can't be paying $5,000-$6,000 a year for
flags.
flags.
I mean, then pull them down. I mean, do we really need them up for Brimfest? I mean, the train's big enough.
no, we normally just set them up. I mean, we normally just put
I
them
mean,
up.
you can take them all down and just put some up in the center of town.
Right, we can put them in the four, 6 holders in the center of town. So,
I would just like to reduce that exposure. I mean, there's been some pretty significant injuries in the past, not to our township, but other areas from that type of work. And 40 is such a busy, distracted area. That's my only concern. I obviously want,
A lot of distracted people.
yeah.
well, that's
That's a lot
why
happening, add technology to it, and the last thing I want is one of our guys up in the bucket or something and get plowed in.
right, well, and that's, I mean, I hate to say that's why we put a protective truck out there. I mean, it's gotten to the point where it ain't like the old days, people blew their horn, waved at you, and now it's like, what the hell are you doing in our way? So it's just that part of it. So myself personally, I'd like to take them down because I don't like seeing flags get ruined from soot from the trucks and stuff. But if the board wanted to leave them up, I'd leave them up. So
I like the idea of just maybe downsizing for Brimfest, just do it on the,
just hit center of town, right where the most things are happening.
4 or 5 more for the room.
right. I think that's a better plan.
Okay. So we'll probably take them down sometime within the next week or two.
Yeah, they did look pretty bad, yes.
Huh?
They did look pretty bad.
Well, the last time we went to replace them, by the time we did get the Brimfest, they were shredded. Them semis, they do a lot more damage than you think going by there with what they're doing, so. And other than that, that's my report.
Phase 3 for Cranberry Creek is at the back.
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped right over the top of that. Yeah, phase 3 we're coming soon, the county will be turning over phase 3 of Cranberry Creek. It's when you go in the main driveway, you make a left.
That's
it
the
goes-
whole section.
That's a big section back there, but it just, out of nowhere, phase 3 just stops and phase 4 starts. So there's a borderline.
Boys, phase 4, that cul-de-sac that goes up around.
It's a cul-de-sac and a couple of little pieces. I'm not real positive.
Cul-de-sac, yeah, because I thought
No.
they were still building houses.
Yeah, no, where they're still building, we're not receiving yet. So
So Dave, that means, are we thinking before winter, so we're gonna have to plow?
we're
Phase
pretty
3.
much by the time winter gets here, phase 4 will be ours too. So we'll have the whole development. The way it's sounding right now, as long as they keep moving forward with the repairs that they've been doing on the roads, sidewalks, curbs, that kind of stuff, so.
I have one quick, Mike, when was the next phase for that harvest? What's that?
Hickory Creek?
No, is that Hickory Creek off Malloy?
Yes.
Are they doing the back section? How many phases are those?
So there's another phase that was approved by the BZA, and the pump station has been approved. There's several variances because the county code and Brimfield's code, they don't coincide with the height of fence, and because we don't want things to look like.
Do they have an idea when they're gonna start?
Anyways, that got all approved as soon as he pays. So he doesn't have an actual zoning certificate. He's got a conditional use to go into the next phase of it, but he has not paid. So we have the new fees that were instituted about a year and a half ago. He didn't pay for the next phase, so he plans on going into the next phase.
Well, how many houses were in that next phase? Because that's a huge field there, and I didn't know.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I think there's another 40.
So they're not doing that whole field?
They will be. that's the next phase going back in. And so if you go behind if you're coming down into Hickory Creek and you'll see the house, and there's a pump station behind that house. That's the road that goes back in and it winds around behind Sugar Maples.
So it'll all be a nice style homes.
You know, everything in there is right around 500,000 and up. The custom built homes, I think he's got about 10 lots marked out for custom built with Pat Long. Those are going to be in the $600,000 to $700,000 range. But the Ryan homes are going between, right between 400 and 500.
So we could officially push off phase one from Dave because they're doing on phase two and they have to drive trucks over those roads, right? They have to finish all those phases before we get the first road through?
Yeah, they're not gonna dedicate the first phase unless Larry Jenkins from the county would change that. But with the new subdivision regs that they put in place, I don't see that possible. So I think it's gonna have to be all completed.
Yeah, that'll be a few years down the road. That's.
So I just know that first phase is going.
The part of his holdup isn't the fees that we're charging. The fees, what has happened is we had a committee and I was part of that committee with the county, and we developed this subdivision regulation so that we don't have, the roads falling apart. And, years later you pull up and there's no under drain, tied into the catch basins, things of that nature, or even, sub-base or sub-grade compaction never happens. We sat on that board and did that. We've got inspection from private companies now. That was my primary thing sitting on that board, was seeing that the developer put money in escrow, and inspections happen on these subdivisions. But with all this stuff and all the inspections that come with this, developers are pulling back because they're like, whoa, it's expensive to build now in Portage County because the subdivision regulations are at a high standard. They see it as a high standard. I see it as a standard of we're just going up to par with Summit County. I mean, Summit County has had this for years, and now I think Portage County has just got on board with this. With the inspections and the amount of pavement, amount of subgrade compaction, geotechnical firms, I think it's a good thing. So if he's hesitant, there's somebody, another developer that will come in behind him and build the right way. So.
Are they gonna put a top coat on Cranberry Creek before they get to us?
Cranberry Creek's already finished, the top coat's on.
They did it already, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but we wouldn't get none of the roadways without a finished coat.
Yeah, I just didn't know if they haven't been over there for a while. Okay.
The problem is Cranberry Creek falls under the old subdivision regulations. So it's not like the Hickory Creek. So that's one of the last ones finishing up, so.
The only thing I'd be hesitant in, and I'm not so sure they finished, was the retention basins with Summits or with Portage Soil and Water. There was things missing that Eric didn't institute. So before we would accept that, I would just maybe reach out to Eric, make sure that all the soil and water stuff happened.
Yeah, because I think, before the engineers turn over, I think they go to Eric and all that stuff. Yeah, so. Because it'll be their recommendation, pretty much it's ours once they start recommending and all that
We
stuff.
just don't want to get the first side, that other cul-de-sac that we have back there.
No.
I don't want that.
But other than that, we do have next trustee meeting, we do have another bid opening at 7:45. Just throw it out there. We have the Butternut Ridge, I'm on the wrong allotment again now. King Ridge Development Paving Project.
So on the 12th, it's 7:45, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Okay, Cassie?
I do apologize. I do have an amendment to my agenda. I will need to, under item 2, Parks Assistant Departure, I will need to request the board accept Aaron's resignation as well.
I'm going to make a motion to amend the agenda to.
Maybe to,
I think you leave it as 2B, just reword 2B to be
Yeah.
resignation acceptance.
Yeah.
yeah, do we really even need to change that?
I wouldn't even amend the agenda. It says vacancy, departure.
Sure.
So we can just accept her resignation.
Item number 1, the flagpole at the town green has been repaired. I did not know we were out of flags, however, so I did order some new flags. They should be coming in soon.
Did they give you the bill yet?
I believe they did. I sent Kirsten the invoice,
I
so.
saw it go through, I just didn't open it yet. I saw your email.
I'm glad you're really looking for it. You really save the township some money.
Yeah, really, yeah, a lot cheaper than the other options. Yeah,
That's pretty good.
remember that later.
You just get a big thank you for saving money.
Yes. Item number 2, Parks Assistant departure vacancy. Erin did submit her formal resignation. I believe she emailed the board that as well. Her last day will also be July 14th. So I would like to request the board accept her resignation.
I'll make a motion that we accept it. We're gonna miss her.
Yes, I will too.
Second that?
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
Thank you. On a related matter, I would like to bring up to the board for discussion, possibly dividing Erin's full-time position into 2 part-time positions. I think that would be more beneficial to the Parks Department. I think my biggest issue right now is being in multiple places at once. So I think having 2 people in lieu of 1 would be very helpful. And I was kind of deciding how I would want to go about this. Whether we would want 2 of the same position or 2 separate positions. I kind of spoke to Holly about this a little bit. I think it would be nice to have one that's designated towards more marketing and secretarial type things, like handling bookings and social media, advertising, flyers, those things. And then another person that is more with the rec and the nature programming. That being said, both of these positions would have the flexibility to work events, do programs with us like Brimfest and Touch a Truck and those kind of things. So just a
And I remember,
suggestion.
I mean, when you first told me, I thought that's a brilliant idea. And we save on all the days.
Mhm.
And you really get to know the people that you're working with. In the future down the road, things might change, but
It's nice to have more bodies there as well, just because that's one of the problems we're having right now. We don't have enough.
well, I mean, there's just so many things that scare me. Cassie, but sometimes you're out there walking the parks by yourself. I think it's nice to have a second person. Just, not that we have dangerous parks, but it's a strange world out there.
Right. And having a third person as backup, for example, another item on my list is I'm going to have to cancel the July and August summer camps because I cannot anticipate we will have somebody hired by that point, and I can't run a summer camp with children with 1 person. So to have another person as backup if someone were to resign or, be out for an extended time, or if we're doing our programs during the day, we can have 1 person hang back in the office and handle rentals and things so that we're not flooded with voicemails when we get back. So
Are you thinking have you thought about a seasonal part-time for like the rec programming piece in the summertime? That way maybe a few more hours there, and then in the wintertime when it's that slower programming piece, it's just you and a part-timer, or you want to try to run them all year, the 2 part-timers?
we do have a lot of programs happening in the winter as well. Actually, one of our busiest seasons is like November through December. That being said, with part-time,
So just thinking seasonal, you might pick up a different caliber of employee. If it's just, you might be able to pick up those college students that are willing to get out there and do a bunch of that work that was seasonal. Kind of like Dave does the seasonal piece.
sure. Well, then we'd also have to run into the issue of retraining someone every time. And that's,
Well, I'm looking at this also as a safety issue. When you have 2 people, you always have a witness. So if you have any conflict with the parents and the children or anything that would come up, you would always have a witness so that it wouldn't just be he said or she said or whatever.
sure.
So I like the two person.
And now you're going to be getting that new room
Mhm.
behind the library for the border program. I mean, have you thought what you're going to do with that room yet? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great program space. Currently, hopefully we'll be in the town hall soon, but we're using this space as a rental facility, a meeting facility, and a parks and recreation program facility. So balancing all of those things is quite challenging. So to have another room for us to be dedicated to parks programs would eliminate one of those things. Because right now, if I want to do a weekend program here, I have to reserve it for myself, which takes out the possibility of a rental, so.
Well, John was very interested in the yoga program.
Yes.
For him and Wendy, so.
She doesn't know yet, but couples yoga. Chick and Joanne were gonna show up too.
Okay, well, I don't think you need anything from us, but
Yeah.
we just need to get started and get some hiring.
Yes.
Well, I think she'd have to, if we're gonna go to 2 part-times, and Holly needs to build out that job description,
Mhm.
and 2 descriptions, and bring it back to the board,
I
so
think
we
we
look
can-
at it.
I think you can still probably start advertising.
I
Yeah.
believe She knew about it, right?
Yes.
So I think she's already doing that.
Because
Because
we already gave you some thoughts.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't advertise it until we officially have a job description.
Sure.
Right, and we're trying to, the Rochelle old position we're filling as well, so we're trying to figure out what we split. And we're determining, Holly's kind of determining which parts are gonna go with which job. So that's all in the process now, so we'll have all that soon.
Just as long as these people are taken from the parks, because that's where she needs them.
No, there would be 2 part-timers, and then there's still that other admin position that we need to fill. So there'll be 3 new bodies that are there, but we just have to determine, because we have a cemetery sexton issue that we have right now too, and how do we do that? What job responsibilities are under the assistant that are there, because they're actually there to help Dave and Craig, Fire and Rose as well. So we're just trying to make the job descriptions that cover all the bases, and we just haven't
So we need
figured it all out.
We need Holly back.
Well, she's working on it right now, she already knows, but yes, we are limited with her, but we'll have her in the 10th, so it's not that far away. She's gonna be a busy person when she gets back. So, okay, it is. We'll get all that together with you.
Yeah, I'll have an update for you next meeting,
When's the last day?
the 14th.
14th.
So, yes, Lauren and Aaron will be leaving on the same day.
Cody might too. So you can go through it.
Big party. And then just a few updates, past programs, as Dave and Craig mentioned, Touch a Truck was on the 17th. Thank you for everybody that came and participated. I think it was our best yet, probably. Really enjoyed it. And then the 21st to the 23rd, we did have our little Explorers Summer Camp. We had 8 participants, and it was a really fantastic camp. I really like the format. I am sad that we won't be able to do our other camps this year, but I would like to plan that the same way for next year. And then we had to reschedule our American Steel concert on Friday due to rain. It has been rescheduled for July 21st. And then upcoming programs, Saturday, July 8th, we have our Finding Nemo movie night. It is the 20th anniversary of Finding Nemo, if you want to feel old. And that will be at Lions Park right over here. The event technically starts at 8:30. The movie will start at 9. And that is a free event. Bring your blankets and chairs. And Hometown Bank will be sponsoring some snacks for that as well. And then on July 10th, we have our Fossils for Kids program here at the community center. We've done that the last couple of years and it went very well. That's from 1 to 3:30 p.m. And then, as I mentioned, we will be canceling the July and August camps. We didn't have too many people registered, so I already notified them of that. So, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Hey, Joe.
Okay, I just want to give you guys some quick updates on AT&T. We did have several representatives from AT&T into the police department yesterday to start the rollout of AT&T wireless. We ran into a small glitch with Apple in between the devices being shipped to us, and yesterday a new version of iOS was released. So every time we were going to set up one of the phones, it had to do a half-hour iOS update. So the original plan was to roll out the phones with AT&T being here helping us. The issue was it was taking a half hour per officer, and we realized that wasn't sustainable. So we had the AT&T people pretty much open every phone, do the iOS update, and then bring it back to like a factory default. And then Captain Atkins is going to put together some take-home instructions to allow the officers to do it on their own time. As permitted, if officers were available, we did do several officers yesterday. I did not get a final count of how many phones we did get finished. But we also AT&T used the opportunity to update a township. That one thing I did not realize is that the discount that we get through FirstNet does apply to us on our personal lines or our family lines also. So they used the opportunity to sign up several officers. I believe, Roy, you also signed up yourself? No. You did not? No. But I know Captain Atkins did. So we get it as a township. If you move your personal line over to AT&T, you get a 25% discount. So that is a nice, pretty decent discount on AT&T service. So AT&T is going to be sending me some flyers that we'll put in the different areas of the building to offer those services to our employees. Also yesterday, AT&T fiber came out, and the physical fiber is now ran into the police department. So we're hoping from the pole to the tech room, there's now a fiber. It's obviously not hooked to anything on either end. I expect AT&T to be out, they're saying possibly next week, to do their testing of it. So we'll terminate both ends. They'll make sure it works. At that point, we'll start scheduling when the actual internet will be installed. Obviously, I have to coordinate that very closely with Captain Atkins. The plan is to try coordinating that with KSU, because we want to upgrade the way that the two departments communicate. So we're going to use this opportunity to improve our communications to the KSU dispatch. So
Is the IT room, how long is it going to be until it's done at the fire department? Is it done when they're done with that, or is it admin side?
It's two different fiber circuits, and we're delaying the fire side because of the construction. So the conduit to the pole to the building is only 50% run because it has to run under the existing driveway, which they can't cut until they move. So they've ran the conduit under the new 3 bays, and it ends in the little gap between the new driveway and the old driveway on the 43 side.
So when they're getting ready to do that,
Yes.
you're gonna run all that? Okay.
Yes, so AT&T is technically ready to do it. I told them to hold off, and they're okay with holding.
So is the computer room though, is it gonna be done when the fire department side is done? So the end of
Yes,
September?
the fiber for the fire admin, the fiber will actually run into the new fire department. So we're moving where internet's terminated. So that internet will no longer be in the admin side of the building, it will be in the fire side of the building. And then there's there'll be a fiber link that connects the two sides. So it really
I
doesn't
just
matter
didn't know if
which.
that had to be delayed for fire until March or April.
No.
It's a week for admin to finish.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be in the fire side. Because of the timing, for safety reasons, we'll move. Right now, the two buildings, admin and fire, if you want to call it that, are linked by that line of sight Wi-Fi. We will have to move that equipment to the new fire department because as part of which I didn't know until a couple weeks ago, as part of the plan for the old admin side is they're demoing that area. So I can't have any services in there. So the line of sight link will have to be moved. And I've talked with Craig about that. I've sent him a preliminary dollar amount to.
Well, and while they're doing that, I'm just bringing this up because you're gonna have to have a line of sight to the library. For the
Yes.
parks. I didn't
So
know if you put all that at
the
same time.
device that I've given Craig in a quote for to replace the line of sight linking the temporary admin to fire, I would like to use that same. We'd buy it for this purpose, and then reuse it to link to the fire department. Because by time, the library. Because by the time the library is ready, we shouldn't need the line of sight because the fiber internet with AT&T would be live. So we'll be buying it for one purpose and then reusing it for the library.
I just want to make sure you're doing all that while they were doing the construction, so we didn't have to do it after.
Yes, when we get to starting the plan, I'll make sure there's a network line in the corner of it'll end up being the corner of the new meeting room, exterior for the line of sight. But yeah, I'll get with them guys. There's a lot of changes on that side of the building. But, AT&T is progressively nicely. We're hoping, possibly 2-3 more weeks for police will be ready to use the internet. Obviously, at that point, we'll have to coordinate with Kent State to do a proper test and turnout.
Okay.
So that's all I have, other than, obviously I'll coordinate with you guys getting your phones. I will just have to, I'll get them updated and then I'll, whoever's available during the day, we can work with it, or, Nick, I can give you instructions and send it to you, or you can just stop out or whatever.
Yeah, Fridays are usually good, so I can, Friday afternoon.
Yeah. I'll just get the that we did with police, I'll get the phone OS updated. That way, when you do stop in, it's about a 10-minute process to move everything over.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Cemetery. Fiscal officer, really,
Yeah, nothing.
no.
So we're ready to do executive session.
I got the executive session. Let's see.
Do we want to do for the good of the Brimfield Township first before we call that? Just because not everybody likes to stay around till the end of the executive session.
Does anybody have anything you want to bring up forward?
I got two quick things, Mike. I did reach out to the Postmaster General, but he hasn't returned my phone call yet about the mail issue.
They got rid of that today too.
Yeah, there's been mail delivery delays in certain developments, because there's just postal services, and they told some residents, well, you'll get your mail when you get your mail. That's an issue.
Howe Road is also not getting their mail, Howe Road. I know going toward town and from Margaret Road, they're not getting mail at all,
Okay,
no mail.
so I have a call in, I'm just waiting for a phone call back to see
They're
if
so short staffed.
they're delivering Kent, they can skip a day and Kent come out, at least pick us up a couple days a week. Yeah, mine's been coming later and later. So it's an issue, but I'm trying to make sure they don't just skip a road completely and never deliver it. People haven't got mail for a week.
That's what's happened, yeah.
The other thing was, this came out from the Board of Elections, just so everybody knows, there's a special election on August 8th. We don't have anything on the ballot, but there is something for all precincts in Portage County. And they're struggling to get individuals to work the polls. So for a volunteer opportunity, Board of Elections is looking for somebody to work polls.
And this is a common theme.
Yeah.
Everyone to work on it. Okay, well, that was said and done. I'm going to make a motion to turn to the executive session. State 648, trustee Michael Smith, Steve Louis, convene the executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, section 121-228 for the purpose considering the following matter. For preparing for conducting or reviewing negotiations or bargaining session with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment.
We just need a second for that.
And I'm just going to see.
No, that was just to that check mark, Mike, is all we should have to read.
Okay, so I need a second.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. We're in executive session at 9:36.
Are you staying on
You're good.
We're out of executive session. Nick, do you want to make the motions?
Yeah, sure. I'd like to, for executive session, I'd like to make a motion to accept the memorandum of understanding between Brimfield Township and the Fraternal Order of Police, Ohio Labor Council Sergeants Bargaining Unit for a retirement benefit for patrol officers who retire on disability or service retirement for the ability to purchase their service weapon as part of retirement. Do the second.
I will second that.
All those in favor? Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passed.
I'd like to make a similar motion for memorandum of understanding between Brimfield Township and the Fraternal Order of Police, Ohio Labor Council Patrol Bargaining Unit for police officers retiring from Brimfield Township through either service or retirement or disability to purchase their service weapon upon retirement.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Anything else?
Okay, I think, we can make a motion and go ahead and end this meeting.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed. We're adjourned at 9:54 a.m.
Hey, Nick, are you doing,